guys doing? Hope you gonna have an awesome day today. Or first, if you ever did, you do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe. While you had to go ahead, push that bell for notifications so you can get scoop my news upcoming videos. Okay, everybody, so it's gonna be a review video of Spiral from the Book of Saw. Now, the thing is that I had to rewatch this movie to let's just say that enlighten myself with a little bit more information from LIONSGATE, and let's just say that this was one hell of a Saw movie. It was magnificently beautiful, brilliant, and so my take on this is that, well, let's just say that Chris Rock takes place in it. Now, funny story is that I look on behind the scenes, and Chris Rock actually pitched this movie to LIONSGATE. He went up, I think he was at a some kind of movie event, and he talked to a person that worked at LIONSGATE. He said that, I've always been a fan of Saw movies, and I was wondering, is it possible if I could actually be in one? And throughout the whole movie, the lines you hear from Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson, they're improv. Like, basically, Chris Rock was, I guess you could say, the scriptwriter for most of the whole movie, but in the horror aspect of it, it was the rest of the crew, the directors that were involved into it. So, other than that, Chris Rock is Detective Zeke Banks, and Zeke Banks, well, let's just say that no one at the precinct likes him at all. Reason why no one likes him at the precinct, because they say that he's a rat. That's why he always works alone, and he doesn't want a partner. Reason why he works alone is because, well, let's just say that this is where, I guess you could say, Max Mihila, aka William Snack. William is the one who was the mastermind behind everything. So, let's rewind this when Samuel L. Jackson, aka Marcus Banks, was actually captain of the precinct. The person who was in second command was actually Angie Marlos Nichols. She played in good roles like in Degrassi Degree, I believe she was in. Other than that, she was actually chief of the, I guess, say, precinct until Marcus actually retired his father and stuff. At that point, his son Zeke Banks was actually just a rookie cop. So at that time, captain and the chief, they planned something in motion in the neighborhood that was like awful. So what they planned was something that was horrible and very, very wrong, that led up to where the press didn't want anything to deal with this kind of community anymore, so they had to become dirty cops, meaning they had to frame people, put them in jail, take them off the streets, they had to clean up, do some dirty work, leading all to tax failure, tax fraud, invasion, and also, I guess you could say, setting up for murder or setting up for attempted murder, which leads us to William. Now, William, his father was killed by, I guess you could say, Zeke's police officers, his partner, basically. At this time, this was when Zeke was actually just a rookie cop, and his partner was the senior cop. The senior cop, his partner was like beloved, but let's just say that Zeke never even knew about like exactly what was happening, like why they were actually cracked down on this crime like really hard. He didn't know it was like deep dark secrets behind I guess his father's business, and including the chief at that time. The other officers already knew. He was just trying to keep his son in the dark to protect him, because he knew his son was a good cop, a good detective. That's why he didn't really tell him anything much what happened. So William was actually in his home, and let's just say that Zeke was inside the same hallway, but Zeke wanted to check downside the hallway to actually talk to other people. His partner, on the other hand, was talk to William's father. So what happened is that he framed him. Yes, Zeke's former, I guess you could say, partner shot and killed William's father when William was only just a child, basically, and he planted a gun on him. So this is where the snitching comes in. Well, this is where everyone hates him. Zeke, he thought something was like eerie and something was real sus about this moment. Like, why would a single father, pull out a gun on an officer just to ruin his life by just get killed? He thought something was fishy right there. So he dug into the evidence and found out that, yeah, this cop was crooked, and this whole came into light. Let's just say that it didn't look good for Zeke. All the officers didn't like him after he got that officer arrested and fired for whatever he did. And so years upon years later, William, that little kid, he actually becomes part of a detective, part of the precinct. He actually becomes a young agent's partner of Zeke, Detective Zeke. So this is a story trait, how it goes. Jigsaw Killer is back. It's actually a Jigsaw, I guess you could say, replica. When I mean replica, it's like Jigsaw has a huge fan base within inside his organization. It's kind of like the Drake, and if you guys haven't seen The Mentalist, like Red John, he has a lot of followers, basically. William wanted to do the same thing, but William took measures into his own hands. He became a detective inside the same precinct, became the same partner of the detective that solved his father's unrightfully murder. And I guess you could say that he looked up to him so much that he wanted to work with him. And throughout the past years, when Zeke was only just a rookie, a lot of the other police officers were giving him a hard time, and they didn't even give a shit when he got shot too, including stuff. So William took upon himself to get revenge on those who did Zeke wrong, because eventually he wanted Zeke to work with him and to join the Justice Department, well, aka Jigsaw's, I guess you could say, his mastermind and organization, to see the police for what they really are and to eradicate them and to make the city a whole new better city. That was his mastermind plan. William eventually, he did tell Zeke that he had a wife and I guess you could say a child, a baby, but it was all fake. His whole story was a facade. He did all these things only to, I guess you could say, protect and to help out the man who actually helped out him when he was a little kid. When he saw Zeke actually help him out in court, get his father's name cleared for the wrong things that he didn't even do. It was his partner that set him up, and his partner did kill his own father. So that's the thing what happened. All these traps when you see with these officers, fellow police officers, well, let's just say that they all had motives. Some were Zeke's former colleagues, but still they had skeletons in their closet, meaning they hidden past that led up to Zeke's story all these years ago. If you combine it like a spider web, you'll end up finding out the true answers of what's going on. Everyone in Zeke's life that has betrayed him really has fucked him over big time in life, and he was only trying to repay him, do him a favor by correcting the justice systems. That's what William's plan was all along. His father was the head of the dark secret organization. Well, I mean dark secret, it's like the dirty police business. So Angie, when she became captain, yeah, she was definitely on the top of his list of the people that he wanted to get out of Zeke's life for good and kill. With that being said, with Marcus Samuel Jackson, let's just say that, yeah, his role inside of it led to the demise at the ending, and let's just say that William was always 10 steps ahead of everyone. He did fake his death at one time so that he could continue on his work and to pose as Jigsaw. When he was posing as Jigsaw, he was one hell of a Jigsaw. I could tell you that right there what it could be. He Zeke didn't really agree with his methods, but like when they came face to face contact with each other, eventually when they saw eye to eye. But then again, when he saw his father tied up and like blood was being drained from him, it was like some real effed up shit that his father was connected to and stuff, and how his father died. I'm not going to give the spoiler alert. I can't even fathom any words of how his father actually died. It was weird and confusing and stuff, but brutal and deadly. I'm not sure if there's going to be a part 2 of it, like a sequel of it, because this is an Elseworld film. It's like kind of like a standalone. It's a spin-off from the original Saw Saga movies. So other than that, what happens is that during the movie, there's also Chris Ramsey, a fellow YouTuber, was actually inside this movie. When I saw he played the role as Crack Punk, I looked at him. I was like, this guy looks really eerie familiar. He's a magician, really good magician on YouTube. He does tutorial tricks and stuff. The director actually contacted him in a business email saying that, would you like to die in the Saw movie and stuff. And so I'll leave the link to his video in the link description below, because he sheds a lot more light on this whole movie and how he was actually on the set and how everything was orchestrated. Samuel Jackson would never have agreed to be in a Saw movie. It was all thanks to Chris Rock. Chris Rock was the one who definitely was the one who was going to be in it, and who was actually going to propose his offer to Samuel Jackson. Of course, they had to bring out the role motherfucker. They had to bring out that name, because without that name, Samuel Jackson couldn't say it, but you know they had to add that line into it. Other than that, I give this movie 7 out of 10 for a Saw movie, for a spin-off Spiral Saw movie. Yeah, I highly suggest you guys check it out. It's actually a pretty good watch. I saw it in theaters, but I also did buy it on DVD so I could rewatch it again. And the BTS, I love watching BTS in the movies, what they really are, what they do. It really is a horror movie. It's not a comedy movie at all. There is humor in it, but it's horror mystery still. Is one dark Saw movie, really dark, with the plot twist. It kind of reminds me of the game Saw 2, like towards the ending. Like he gives him, I guess you could say, a choice: join me, or you don't have to join me. It's up to you. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are new, subscribe to the channel as always, and yes, of course, I'll see you all in the next one. Shh.
You wanna play games, motherfucker?